These are details that you may not care much about as a book reader, but as an author who wants to self-publish, you need to learn about them. Why? Because each part of a book that we're going to discuss today represents a decision you will need to make when you're self-publishing your book that will either make or break the quality of your book. Hi, my name is Mary. Welcome to Telios, where we give you tips, training, and services to help you get publishing ready. Today we're discussing the different parts of a book that you need to know about as an author who is looking to self-publish. Book anatomy can be simply divided into two: what's on the exterior and what's on the interior. Let's start with the exterior. With the exterior, you have two things that you're looking at: the front cover and the back cover. With the front cover, at the bare minimum, you're going to have the book title as well as the author name. Now, you can also add details such as the genre of the book you're writing. You can have details such as the series name if your book is part of a series. You can also add things like an award the book may have won, or perhaps as an author, you also have won awards in the past that are relevant to your writing, and you can include a line of that in your book cover. And we see this a lot when people put New York Times best-selling author or Kane Prize winner. What you do need to consider when you're thinking about what to put into your book cover is that every single line needs to be important enough to be there. It shouldn't just be there because it's a nice feel-good line. It needs to work for its position on your book cover, because that's prime real estate when it comes to bookland. So you need to make sure that your book cover has your best selling points on every front. The other part of a book exterior is a back cover. Now, this is where we would normally find a book summary or a book blurb. You would also find what I call a book hook, which is basically a line or two that summarizes or hooks your reader into what your book is about. You'd also have your ISBN number, very important, as well as perhaps a publishing logo if you're traditionally published. I have one because I do have Telios as my publishing house. You could also have an author bio on your back cover, and a lot of people do this. So with the exterior, you're looking at your front cover and your back cover. But we're not done yet. There's a very important part that a lot of people forget about, and that's your spine. Your book spine is really, really, really important. Why does it matter? Think about where your book stays when it's not in your hands or in the hands of a reader. It's on a bookshelf somewhere, on a table somewhere. And more often than not, the part of your book that is usually visible is this. It will either be placed like this or like this. And so when someone is passing across or going past wherever your book is, this is usually the first bit they'll see. Think about it when you're browsing through a bookstore, even a library. More often than not, this is how books are stored. You need to think about your spine and the details essentially that need to be on your spine. You're looking at having at least your book title, author name, as well as perhaps a publishing logo if you want to include that. And you could have some illustrative detail or illustrative element that is relevant to your book. Now with the spine, obviously you're not working with a lot of space, so you can't cram too much in there, but you do need to have definitive details such that anyone who's passing by your book and all they have to go on is the spine, know exactly what book it is and who it's by, so that they're able to pick it out and flip through it or even take a read. Let's look at the book interior next. With the book interior, you're looking at a couple of sections. One, you have what is the front matter, and this is normally stuff that people will flip right through when they get a book to read, because it is considered a bit boring. It's irrelevant to a reader in most cases. However, when you're self-publishing as an author, these are details that you need to think about, because if you were traditionally published, they are details that your publisher would be thinking about. And the key thing here with the front matter is your copyright page. Now, this is where you have all your copyright information, including things like where your book was printed or has been published, what your ISBN number is, any copyright disclaimer information that you need to have. And usually you will find a lot of these templates available online. However, you do need to customize them to suit the needs of your specific book project. With front matter, you also have things like a table of contents, author dedication, or an acknowledgement page. Some people even put book reviews of other books that they've written in the front matter, just to sort of showcase their writing prowess and say, hey, I've written other books and I'm good at this, so definitely buy this book. After the front matter comes the main matter, the meat of the book, the quote-unquote important stuff. And obviously with that, you're looking at having your chapter numbers in place, your headers in place. If you will have, say, your book title or your book name at the top or at the bottom of the page. You're also looking at having your paragraph sections done correctly, where things aren't hanging and some words aren't being left behind. So these are some of the things that you'll need to look at with your main matter. Then lastly, you have the back matter. Now, this can vary depending on the kind of book that you're publishing. You could have your author bio back here. You could also do references if, say, you're doing a non-fiction book, and perhaps there are sources that you've mentioned in your main chapters that you want to now reference at the end of your book. Perhaps you have resources that you want to recommend your readers to look into. You can also use the back matter as a way to advertise either books you've already published or upcoming books, where you can include a bit of information or some teasers of what readers can look out for next. If someone has enjoyed the book they've just read, they'll definitely be thinking about, has this person written anything else that I can read? I really love this book. I'm probably going to like whatever else they have out there. So having a promo or a teaser of some kind in the back matter does make their work a lot easier in terms of finding you. You can also include your contact information if you want to have that as part of your bio. So these are just some of the things that you can have in your back matter. And there you have it. Those are the different parts of a book that you need to think about as a self-published author. When you do get into self-publishing, there's a lot more in the finer details. This was just an overall view of some of the areas that you can consider. And if you want to learn more, you can look into our training and services at Telios Press on our website, teliospress.com, that we offer authors and writers who want to self-publish, so that you have all the information you need to make the necessary decisions concerning every single part of your book. We also go into more detail on the different aspects of book publishing, especially in our training courses, that will enable you to make the right decisions when the time comes for you to self-publish. Do subscribe to the channel, and you can also look us up on Instagram at Telios Press, where you can get more information on all things self-publishing.